Hello, fellow travelers. Welcome to my channel. I hope that you all are doing okay and having an amazing day. If you are new to the channel, please give this video a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button, which is free, and then hit the notification bell so you won't miss when I post a video. If you're on social media, please give us a follow or a like on our Facebook page at Julia's Trucking Cafe. That's spelled at Julia's, Julias, capital TRCKN, capital CAFE. As always, I have lots of news to get to, so let's get right to it. In this video, a dash cam shows an Idaho trooper running for his life from an inattentive semi-driver. The Idaho State Police shared dashcam video highlighting a trooper's close call with an inattentive semi-driver. This was captured on January 17th on I-84 near Meridian, Idaho, but has been publicly released on March 4th. Quote, despite clear warnings, flares, lights, and arrows, an inattentive semi-driver swerved into the median to avoid hitting the trooper's vehicle. Thankfully, trooper had quick reflexes and saved the day, but it's a stark reminder of the dangers our first responders face, said a spokesman for the Idaho State Police. They shared the video as a reminder to drivers to move over for emergency vehicles and to pay attention to the road. They worked tirelessly to keep our roadways safe, but even they face terrifying close calls, the state police said. Mulch dumped as yet another semi-truck dangles off an overpass. This accident happened on March 4th near Bath, New York. Around 4 a.m. on Interstate 86 that goes over to Highway 390. According to the Bath Volunteer Fire Department, the truck was hauling mulch when it crashed and sent the cab skidding off the highway and through a barrier. Crews worked to stabilize the rig before the driver was able to climb out onto a rescue platform of his own. Not only was it through a barrier, but it was on top of an overpass, so it was dangling about 60 feet up in the air. After the rescue, the truck driver was transported to the hospital. At the time of the article, his current condition was not known. Troopers hospitalized when a semi-truck plows through a crash scene. Two Indiana state troopers were hospitalized when a semi-truck smashes through a previous crash scene. This accident happened on March 5th on the northwest region of Indianapolis, Indiana, just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. According to the local news, two troopers were inside of an Indiana State Police car investigating a crash on Interstate 65 southbound, south of 38th Street, when a semi-truck crashed into them. Quote, a couple other vehicles pulled up behind them, and I'm not sure exactly why. A very short time later, a semi who was illegally driving in the third lane came around the curb and struck all 5 vehicles. The accident wedged the patrol car between several other cars and even forced a tow truck driver to leap over a concrete barrier to avoid being hit by the semi. The officer sustained non-life-threatening injuries and were transported to the hospital. Only minor injuries were reported for other people involved in this incident. The truck driver was issued several citations for the accident. Truck driver accused of attacking another driver with a mini sledgehammer at a truck stop. Authorities in West Virginia accused a truck driver of attacking another one with a mini sledgehammer. A Putnam County Sheriff's Office says that the truck drivers Ronald Coward and Zaid Sadidin were involved in an altercation at a pilot in Nitro, West Virginia on the night of March 4th. Coward allegedly struck Zaid in the back of the head with a mini sledgehammer during the fight. Coward was also stabbed in the shoulder and the armpit during the dispute. Both truck drivers were taken to the hospital for treatment following the incident. The law enforcement said that Coward was charged with a malicious assault and battery. It isn't clear why they were fighting. Well, they're not going to go ahead and say either. Semi-truck explosion wakes the neighbors in Jasper, Texas. Two semi-truck explosion woke nearby neighbors in East Texas as the rigs mysteriously burned to the ground. According to the local news, it's outside of Beaumont, families living near Lynn and McQuinn Streets were awakened by an explosion and they contacted Jasper Fire Department. Fire crews then responded to the scene near East Texas Forest Products. Crews soon found two tractor trailers engulfed in flames, and it took 14 firefighters to extinguish the blaze. No one was injured in the incident, luckily, but investigators are still trying to determine the cause of the inferno. No further information has been released. Cops call out a truck driver for speeding while watching a TV show while he's driving. Brilliant. Canadian police say that they discovered a truck driver watching a TV show behind the wheel when they pulled a semi over for speeding. This happened Tuesday, March 5th. Ontario Provincial Police shared details about a recent commercial vehicle stop that occurred on Highway 1117. The Thunder Bay Division pulled the truck over for speeding, then discovered a slew of violations. From the provincial police, quote, members of the Thunder Bay Provincial Police stopped the commercial vehicle for doing 119 kilometers per hour in a posted 90 kilometer per hour zone. That's not all. The driver was caught watching a movie on their phone while driving and is facing a lineup of charges including speeding, driving a commercial motor vehicle not equipped with speed limiting system, which they have in Canada, drive display screen visible to driver, and exceeding 13 hours driving time in a day, and other logbook infractions. The image shared by provincial police appears to show an episode of the television series The FBI Files, titled The Murdering Cowboy, that initially aired in 1998. A1's employee threw a bag of crap at a trucker disputing his tow bill. A1 is a towing service out of Memphis. A1's towing employee allegedly threw a bag of crap at a truck driver during a towing dispute at a Memphis truck stop. The incident happened on Lamar Avenue on March 4th and marks yet another incident in the ongoing dispute between the now infamous towing company and truck drivers passing through the area. California truck driver, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, says that he pulled into the truck stop about 10 o'clock at night and didn't see any pay to park signs, so he started to settle in for the night. Within 20 minutes, an employee of A1's towing had booted his rig. The driver then went to pay for 2 days worth of parking, but the employee said it was already too late and started hooking the truck up to his tow truck. The driver and the tow truck driver argued over the incident, and at some point the truck driver says that the tow truck driver threw a bag of human feces at him, then decided to camp out in his truck to keep it from being towed, and that's when the alleged vandalism started. The next morning, police were called to the scene on reports of vandalism and assault. The truck driver told police that A1's employees had been dismantling his truck and trying to enter his cab all night long, causing him to fear for his life. They've been opening my doors and coming in and threatening me. I've got them on video opening my doors and dismantling my truck all night long," told a truck driver to the local news. "All my truck lines are disconnected. My drive axles, everything. My air, they are disconnecting everything." Responding officers said they were able to witness A1's employees taking parts off the truck, rendering inoperable, and say they were unable to verify whether or not the person held a valid booting license. Police were able to confirm that at least one of the employees did not have a valid CDL. They're saying $30,000 and it's going up, and it's $900 an hour and counting. "This is just ridiculous. I can't believe this is happening in America," he said on Tuesday morning. Attorney Daryl O'Neill, who represents A1, says that the truck driver is also guilty of inappropriate behavior and shared a video of the truck driver telling an A1 employee he had a gun. Police was also on scene and said the vehicle is going to be towed. While the police were watching, the driver jumped back in his truck, and the police stated it was a civil matter after the driver said he was not going to pay and was just going to sit in his truck, O'Neill said. Police were called several times over the course of the dispute. Eventually, the truck driver was able to contact the mayor's office, and A1's was forced to release his truck. However, the truck driver is still being left to deal with the consequences of A1's actions. "I have to take it to another truck company. I have to find a place to fix my truck," he said. Over the last year, A1's has already had their booting and towing permit temporarily suspended and been cited multiple times for other violations. Quote, "One of the trucks they took was a postal service truck," said the deputy city attorney. USPS subpoenaed information from us, and the state is also looking at it because there are some enforcement arms the state has that we don't have. In response to the actions against them, A1 has also filed a lawsuit against the city of Memphis for weaponizing a civil municipal ordinance to discriminate against minority-owned company. Memphis City Council members have asked the Permits Office to create an official set of rules and regulations for tow companies to clarify what is and was not legal in regards to towing vehicles. The Memphis Police Department has also been ordered not to get involved in parking disputes or towing disputes on private property. A1's towing is scheduled to appear before the Memphis Transportation Commission the first week of March. I will let you know how that comes out. Truck drivers missing after lumber truck flips over and slides down a hill. The truck driver's missing Thursday morning after a lumber truck slides down a hill in West Virginia and not on a road that's not suitable for trucks. This happened March 7th around 5:30 in the morning. 1700 block of Hurricane Road in Frame, West Virginia. According to the local news, the lumber truck was traveling on a winding road unsuitable for commercial vehicles when it failed to negotiate a curve and slid down the hill. Police believe that the trucker may have been lost or misguided by his GPS, which don't we know about all that? First responders say they had not been able to locate the driver, and there are concerns that he may have been crushed underneath the overturned truck. Cleanup and removal of the wreck has proven difficult due to treacherous terrain. No further information was released at that time. In this episode, the full episode, you will be getting more and more updates. A stalled electric car sparked a crash that sent a truck dangling off the bridge. Now, I believe it's the same story that I reported on episode 129 of a Cisco truck dangling off a bridge in Louisville, Kentucky. And this is the reason why. Stalled electric car caused a chain reaction crash that ended in a dramatic rescue of a trucker hanging off a bridge. That happened March 1st on the Clark Memorial Bridge. Yes, it's the same accident. According to local news, Glenna Hess had just purchased an electric car the day before and was driving along the bridge when it suddenly stopped. Well, imagine that. I've driven electric cars for 10 years, she said. I was noticing there was a fluctuation in the electrical system. The power would be at 90%, then to 80%. As I was coming back from Jeffersonville, it said I had a 24-mile range, which was fine, Hess said. I just wanted to get across the bridge and call AAA. I was going to take it back to Carvana. But the motor just came to a dead stop on the 2nd Street Bridge. I had my blinkers on and called AAA, who alerted the police. Everyone was fine. They saw the blinkers until, of course, somebody didn't, Hess said. And then that set off the string of events that led to everything that happened on Friday at noon. She said the first crash between two cars ended in a bad injury, and after that, it was when the semi-truck approached the scene. I saw a blue pickup truck with a badly injured person in front of me, and I look behind and I see the semi, Hess said. You see, this woman is hanging out. I mean, you could see her and you're thinking, it's a wonder she's not dead. That's when the semi-truck went off the bridge, leaving the trucker dangling off the side. Quote, I can't imagine the trauma she's feeling, Hess said. She's a hero how she maneuvered the whole situation. Hess was told by Carvana they will not allow her to return the vehicle because it had been damaged. One person injured in the wreck was critically injured and is still in the hospital. A teen is arrested in Texas for driving a rig without a driver's license. Imagine that. In Gillespie County, Sheriff's Office deputy arrested a teenager for driving a big rig without a driver's license. This happened Monday, March 4th. The deputy patrolling Fredericksburg, Texas, spotted a semi and a trailer driving southbound, swerving off the roadway and back into the left lane, causing two vehicles to swerve across the double yellow lines into oncoming traffic to avoid being hit. The deputy pulled the truck over at US 87 South. During the traffic stop, the deputy learned that the driver of the truck was a 17-year-old from Del Valle, Texas, who did not have a driver's license. He told the deputy that it was the first time driving a semi and he was hauling several crushed cars to San Antonio. Due to the reckless nature of his driving and having no driver's license, he was placed under arrest and was towed. The truck was towed by a local wrecker. Trucker parts traffic like the Red Sea just to pass a line of semi-trucks. A trucker parts traffic like the Red Sea when he pulls into the opposite lane just to pass a line of other semis. There is a video to this, and the link will be in the description. The driver is caught on the dash cam passing the filming driver going the wrong way on a 2-lane highway. The wrong way driver manages to pull ahead of the filming driver but has to swerve onto the left shoulder to avoid a head-on collision with oncoming cars. Quote, he rode the entire shoulder length until it was gone. Once the shoulder ends and the oncoming traffic passes, the wrong way driver pulls back into the wrong lane before crossing into the correct one and pulling in front of the line of semi-trucks that was prompted his dangerous pass in the first place. Friend of mine sent me the video so I could share it with y'all. He did get the truck number, the person who made the video said, and the driver's been reported. Hopefully something gets done. And this gentleman, like I said, was not the person who took the video. It was his buddy, and he's just posting it. A female trucker is arrested after shooting her girlfriend. A female driver is arrested for the shooting of her long-term girlfriend outside of her parked semi in Louisiana. Shooting occurred around 2:30 in the afternoon in Baton Rouge. 38-year-old trucker Danielle Bell was arrested on March 6th in DeSoto, Mississippi. According to the local news, the victim was on the phone with a third party as she drove Bell to a parking lot where Bell's truck was parked. Once at the parking lot, third party heard Bell and the victim get into an argument. Eventually, the victim hung up the phone. The third party tried to call the victim back, but no one answered the phone. Police were eventually called to the parking lot on Stan Avenue near North Sherwood Forest Drive when they found a woman dead inside of a vehicle with a bullet hole in the driver's side window. Arrest records show that the two were a long-term romantic relationship. In other words, domestic violence. While investigating the scene, detectives found fresh semi-tire tracks heading away from the scene of the crime. Shell casings were also found in the area. Officials were able to obtain video footage showing the truck driving away from the scene. And then they later tracked her down into Mississippi. And I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Kaz, from Wisconsin, who gave me a tip about this next story. Thanks so much, Kaz. 9 are reported dead in a crash involving a van and a big rig in Wisconsin. Several people were reportedly killed in a crash involving a van and a big rig in Wisconsin. This happened in Dewhurst Friday, March 8th. I was up there, but I don't watch the news, so I didn't see exactly what was going on. But I was in Wisconsin that weekend. Preliminary reports indicate that there was a semi-truck traveling eastbound on State Highway 95 approaching the intersection of County J. And as the semi-truck was approaching the intersection, a van was driving northbound on County Road J. Van continued northbound, entered the intersection, and was struck by the semi traveling eastbound. While the sheriff's office not released information on how many people were hurt, local news reports that 9 were killed in this crash. And it caught fire and flipped, and it's also under investigation by Wisconsin Highway Patrol. So yeah, it doesn't, as you could see there in the upper left corner, if you're watching it on YouTube, that's the car that got hit and pretty much crushed, and everything else was not pretty. A trucker's road rage devolves into a gunfight while driving, and you can't make this crap up. An incident of road rage turned into a gunfight while driving as 2 truckers fired shots at each other on a Florida highway. This happened near Ocala, Florida on I-75. According to the local news, the road rage started when a driver from Chesapeake, Virginia threw a water bottle at another truck driver as they passed each other on the highway. Why? Why are you going to do something so stupid? I don't get it. A Marion County Sheriff's Office says that the Virginia driver then continued to follow the victim and eventually pulled alongside him again, at which time he fired several shots. After rapidly decelerating in an attempt to avoid being struck, the other truck returned fire toward the suspect out of fear for his own life, said the police. Victim then pulled on into a truck stop and called police, who were able to use dash cam footage to piece the incident together. The footage clearly depicted him shooting at the victim 2 separate times, the sheriff's office said. He also retrieved a second handgun and pointed it at the victim without firing. 43-year-old trucker from Virginia was found in Ocala, Florida on March 6th. He was being charged with shooting a missile into a vehicle, aggravated assault. I'm not laughing at the incident. I'm laughing with the charge. Shooting a missile. It should be a projectile. And criminal mischief, displaying a firearm during the commission of a felony, brandishing a weapon, the list goes on and on and on. Don't do it, guys. In 35 years of driving out here, I have never had an incident at all. But I also know how to give them the mother's look from hell, too. So they know not to mess with me out here. Memphis officials slap A1's towing with a 30-day suspension after trucker complaints. Like I was talking about, all that incident about A1's towing procedures. City of Memphis Transportation Commission voted to temporarily suspend the towing permit for A1's towing following a slew of complaints from truckers about the company's prices. According to the local news, Memphis city officials voted unanimously on Thursday, March 7, to suspend the towing permit of A1's Towing for 30 days for ordinance violations related to the company's towing and storage fees. This is the second recent permit suspension issued to this notorious towing company. In November of 2023, the company was issued a similar 30-day permit suspension for multiple complaints from truck drivers and carriers about excessive fees and potentially illegal booting and towing practices. And they didn't learn from the first time? A1's Towing has frequently been in the news over the past year for allegedly booting or towing semi-trucks from truck stops in the Memphis area and then charging thousands of dollars to release the vehicles. A1's Towing made headlines earlier when an employee attempted to tow a semi from a Memphis truck stop on Monday night allegedly threw a bag of feces at the driver of the truck during an argument. So, and I just spoke about that. I'm not going to get into that, but beware if you're going through Memphis or about these fools that you may be towed. Don't be parking just any place. I live on the outskirts of Memphis, about 85 miles east. I go home. I don't even park in Memphis at all, period. A trucker is hospitalized by a chunk of concrete that's thrown from an overpass. The wife of a husband and wife driving team has been hospitalized after being hit in the chest by a chunk of concrete thrown off an overpass in Los Angeles on Wednesday, March 6th. This happened along the 101 freeway. According to the local news, the semi-truck was passing beneath the Santa Monica Boulevard overpass when the windshield shattered and the wife was hit in the chest by a chunk of concrete. Good grief. I'm surprised it didn't bust her ribs. Quote, my wife was driving under the freeway and she saw some guy standing on top and then he hurled this through our windshield. Said the husband. I came forward and she was just covered in glass. He said that he had to help his wife slow the truck down, pull over to the shoulder before he could call 911. She was taken to the hospital in unknown condition. No further information about her injuries was released at the time. This is ridiculous, he says. I don't know why somebody would do that. Because they can. Because they're just idiots. And you should see it Halloween. They throw pumpkins off a doggone overpass already. You know, the joys, as I mentioned, people. The same A1 Towing made 3 stories in the news this week. 3 trucking companies are suing them for $5 million. They came together to sue the Memphis-based A1 Towing for allegedly creating deceptive parking areas to lure and trap unsuspecting commercial drivers. In the lawsuit, the trucking companies Western Express, MHT, and Church Transportation filed a civil lawsuit against the towing company in the U.S. District Court. The suit is seeking up to $5 million in damages plus legal fees. The names the A1 Towing owner as a defendant, as well as several others alleged alter ego companies, including A1's Exclusive LLC, A1's Car Hauling LLC, CAC Operations, A1's Aplex Memphis, Accord Security, S-Line LLC, and S-Line Truck Parking, which I think those are bogus. The lawsuit accuses A1's Towing and affiliated companies of violations of racketeering and RICO, which forbids any person employed or associated with any enterprise engaged in the activities of which interstate or foreign commerce to conduct or participate directly or indirectly in the conduct of such enterprises' affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity or collection of unlawful debt. That's a mouthful. The suit also accuses A1 Towing and affiliated companies of interfering with commerce by threats or violence, fraud, violations of Tennessee towing statutes, and violating the Tennessee Booting Consumer Protection Act. In the 56-page complaint, you're talking a book. The trucking companies accuse A1 operating various businesses under assumed or fictitious names as a part of a racketeering scheme. And I'm not going to read the complaint. It's a long one. So they did threatening behavior, cite examples of harassment, and it goes on and on and on and on. So what they're doing is they're doing illegal truck parking. You see the sign on the video there that they'll make up all these rules under S-line truck parking. They'll get you to come in and park, for a nominal fee. And then if you don't, or you don't see the sign, or the sign is hidden or something like that, then they have an excuse to come in and tow your ass and then charge thousands of dollars to get the boot removed. Kind of like what Walmart does in Kentucky. They're notorious for doing that. A trucker suspected of bank robbery dies after hours-long standoff at an Illinois truck stop. A trucker suspected of bank robbery in Michigan died during a police standoff at a truck stop in Illinois. The bank robbery occurred shortly after 10:30 in the morning on Thursday, March 6th in Michigan. According to the police department there, officers reported to a Bank of America for a reported robbery. Employees told the police that a male suspect entered the bank, approached the teller, passed a note demanding money, then fled. Typical. Officers were not immediately able to locate the suspect. After reviewing surveillance video, officers determined once the suspect fled the bank, he got on a motorized scooter, which he had parked near the bank, then drove the scooter to a semi-truck he had parked in the area, and then fled the area inside of the semi-truck. Police were able to identify the truck as belonging to an Illinois-based company. They were also able to identify the suspect as a 33-year-old Georgia resident. They were able to track the suspect in a semi-truck to Effingham on March 7th. The police department asked for assistance from the Effingham Police Department. Officers located the truck at a TA in Effingham and disabled the suspect's semi-truck at the truck stop. The suspect resisted arrest and barricaded himself inside the truck with a gun. Effingham County Sheriff's Department and Illinois State SWAT team and crisis negotiating team were called in to assist. After nearly an 8-hour standoff, negotiations failed and the suspect committed suicide in that truck. Make no mistake about it, if you come to Shelby Township to commit a crime, our department will track you down no matter where you try to hide, said the Shelby Township Police Chief Robert Schilde. So don't go into Shelby, Michigan, because they will hunt you down. And remember the story about the missing lumber truck driver? Well, he may be wandering around in the woods dazed and confused. As I just previously mentioned in this episode, a missing lumber truck driver may be wandering around the area confused following his serious accident. And it just goes on to describe, how the crash happened near Frame. 39-year-old Carlos, I have no idea how to pronounce his last name, was not found at the scene, has not been seen for several days. According to the local sheriff's office, he left the scene of the wreck before first responders arrived, called a family member in New Jersey. That family member told police that he was on Spencer Road near Cotton, West Virginia at the time of the call. Since that call, no one has heard from him, and police have been unable to contact or locate him. Officers believe that he's in Elkview, West Virginia area. He's potentially injured and may not be aware of his whereabouts. Anyone with information on this Carlos, I'm going to try to pronounce his name, Bonifico Manuzzo, is urged to contact the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office. You could do so by calling 304-357-0169. He is 39 years old. He's about 6 foot, 170 pounds, black hair, afro with brown eyes. If you see him wandering around, and he also has a full beard. If you see him wandering around, maybe lost, please do not approach. Please call the sheriff's office 304-357-0169. Because he may be injured, he may be suffering amnesia if he got conked on the head good, and nobody needs to, approach him and piss him off. And in this story, a truck driver is wedged in a tunnel when he decided to ignore height restriction signs. I'm going to hear a little bit of a noise because I gotta work on my laptop and I gotta put it on the charger. So one quick second. There we go. All fixed. So a semi-truck becomes wedged in a tunnel when a driver ignores height restriction signs, according to Virginia police. This happened March 11th, the downtown tunnel between Norfolk and Portsmouth, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The flatbed truck driver ignored the warning signs of height restrictions in the tunnel and attempted to drive through the westbound side anyway. The load then got stuck on the roof, wedging the truck inside the tunnel. And what he has on there, some kind of machinery. I'm not exactly sure 100% what it was. But yeah. Dunk off. The incident forced the closure of the westbound side of the tunnel along Interstate 264. Traffic was redirected, and removal of the tractor trailer was expected to take about 2 hours. And it is unclear how many citations will be issued as a result. Well, that'll teach them. Next time, pay damn attention to what the hell you're doing. Get off the phone. Tennessee is to add weigh and motion scales at nearly 30 sites statewide. New highway and motion technology is coming to dozens of interstates and state routes in Tennessee over the next year. Tennessee DOT recently awarded a contract to tolling and enforcement solutions company, Quarter-Hill Inc., to install weigh and motion, WIM, systems at 28 sites on interstates and state routes across Tennessee. The installation, I'll talk of it right eventually, of these systems is expected to be completed by May of 2025. Some of the systems will be integrated into the existing Tennessee Highway Patrol enforcement sites that do like pre-pass, so that the troopers can integrate the WIM data into their commercial vehicle inspection programs. And this Quarter-Hill will share insights into what data will be collected by the systems. So, of course, they are pleased to collaborate with Tennessee DOT. So not only going to have pre-pass, but you're also going to have weighing in motion too. Which they can even, I know in Arizona, speaking of that, they can even tell if you got a flat tire. I had a tire that didn't come off the rim yet, but was flat and got pulled around and had to get it changed on the spot in Arizona port of entry because they could tell that I had a flat tire. Unbelievable. So if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe, like, share, give this video a thumbs up. I have grown the channel by 60 new subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody that has liked these videos and subscribed and liked even the clips I'm doing to explain my rationale and my thinking. if you're on the YouTube channel and you're seeing a video with a number in the front, that is the full 30-minute episode. That's the weekly episode I do. If you're just seeing trucking without a number, and it'll usually say clip on the end of the title, that is just one story out of like 20 stories that I talk about in every episode. So I'm trying to give you all a little teasers until I could get the big episode out. So that's why I'm putting clips out there to stay populated in front of you guys. So thank you so much, everybody, for viewing and liking. Everybody that is not subscribed, if you just take a minute and please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to stay relevant on YouTube. It helps get the word out. It's free. You need a Google account, but I mean that's free too. Just you can create some bogus kind of YouTube for junk mail or whatever, a Google account I mean, and then go ahead and you can even use that one to subscribe. But if you ring the bell so you won't miss a future video, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in again this week, and keep the shiny side up. Julia's Trucking Cafe is a trademark brand. Julia's Trucking Cafe podcast is ranked in the top 10% of 3 million active podcasts worldwide. Any and all images used on this show are shared under the Fair Use Act, which you can see here. No copyright infringement is intended, expected, or will be litigated. We thank you for joining us this week. We hope that you have a safe and prosperous week. Please keep the shiny side up. Until next time.